All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out so everybody can join in. 1 second. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I hope everybody had a great trading day today. Whew, what a night, huh? We'll take a look at that in a minute. Today we're going to talk about day trading divergences. Again, continuing the discussion today, we're going to use MACD. MACD is pretty cool, so we're going to check that out in a little bit here. Before we get started, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice, so please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hope everybody's doing great and had a great trading day today. So let's take a look and see where we're at in the market. So this is the SPX, right? So not live right now. We'll take a look at the futures in a moment. But we can see here the SPX has continued to hold its trend. Right, had a big day yesterday and actually closed in the upper end of the range inside day. Right, so relatively narrow range, 12.48 points. Right, and it held the upward trend line. Now we're down 9 points, but it pretty much held the trend line here today. So we got some big news after hours. Right, there's additional missile strikes on a facility that housed U.S. Equipment, U.S. military equipment, U.S. military stuff, right? So big move down after hours. We'll take a look at that in a second. So we're gonna see how that affects things tomorrow. Right now we still have this trend box, right, from this breakdown, right, because we didn't hit a new high. So we'll see what we do, right? So right now futures, we'll take a look at, are at 32.14, which is right here at the bottom of the trend box. So we'll see if that continues to hold into the open tomorrow. So we'll take a look at the futures in a moment. Just a real quick look here. This is the geometric chart. These are the levels that we've been using all through 2018 and 2019, right? We can see this macro channel, right? This has been ever since volatility really started to kick in, right? Back in January, 2 years ago, right? Been holding this channel, right? Quick breakdown here in December, Christmas reversal, all the way back up, hit the top of the channel, came back down to the pitchfork, held the pitchfork, back over the channel, tagged the channel again, over the midpoint line, and then getting to the top of the pitchfork right here. We're starting to see kind of some pivot action here. So, but we'll see. We'll see if there's more to it. Right, next level up is that 3,300 level. In the near future. I mean, it could go up, 33.30, depending where it wants to go. So we'll continue to monitor that. Today's price action, right, narrow range inside day. So, pretty choppy stuff, right? The SPX is kind of a mess today. You can even see with our levels. Now, these levels we provide to our members, right, before every market opens, so we can use this, to gauge what's going on, right? So we had a big push up, right, yesterday. And then today we gapped down. Right, have a crazy move this morning. Right, really tough to play these levels here. And even moving back up was tough. We had a lot of upper shadows coming up here. This is a pretty strong candle right here, but got no follow through. Came back, held the weekly pivot levels, and then gave a bounce. Right, so a lot of times you see that. Oftentimes you don't see just direct moves up. You see some tests of levels and then a move back up. Then we hung out between these ranges right here, tried to gap up, and then a move down into the close. So that was the action today. Let's take a look at the S&P futures here. All right, so S&P had a pretty nasty move here. Let's go to the 15 chart. So you can see here after the close, after the news of the strikes this afternoon or this evening, right, had a big move down. And basically what's going on now is we have a couple different things. We could use this trend line right here. Pull up the trend lines. You can use this trend line right here. There's your lows. There's your levels. So we broke this downward trend line here just now. Now we have a trend box here. From here to these lows. We can go as low as here, of course. But we'll see. So we've got a little trend box forming here to the upside. So if we can get above this 32.20 level, it could be a key breakout level to get back in the range. I mean, it's possible we might even be green tomorrow. Down 20 points, that's not too much, right? Even on the General Soleimani, strike, we ended up being green the next morning. So we'll see exactly what they have in store here. We'll see how we look in the morning. So it should be pretty interesting. We're definitely going to be keeping an eye on this. Okay, good. So let's take a look. So today, again, we're going to be talking about day trading divergences. Again, we've talked about RSI and CCI, and today we're going to talk about MACD. So MACD is kind of a special tool that's out there that we like to use. Okay, so let's go back to the daily chart. Let's pull up the SPX. Okay, and so let's see. Let's get this pulled up here. Let's clean the chart up again. Let's remove studies. 1 second. Okay, let's clear that out there. Remove this from last night when we were looking at our divergences. And we'll remove our studies here. We'll keep the moving average up. That's fine. Okay. So let's pull up the MACD. So what do we mean by MACD? We've talked about MACD before. Let's remove these divergences here. Let's remove these moving averages. They look all messy. Okay. So here we go. So here's a clean SPX chart right here. So what we do is you go to studies and you go to MACD. So now there's two different MACDs you could use. You can use basically the general MACD. You just click MACD, right? It gives you this, and it shows you your kind of your moving averages and stuff like that. Now you can use these as well, right? So you can see here, right? You got to move here from this level to this level. Okay, you go there to there, right? So you get some divergences there, and you see the move down. Okay, so that's one way to use the MACD. Okay, pretty interesting tool, right? Definitely interesting stuff. But one of the cool things that I do want to point out, which is neat, that a lot of folks don't use, is the MACD histogram, which is just this down here. See these levels? Pretty cool stuff. So if we go here and just go to, what you can do is you can you just go to MACD histogram. So you just do a search for MACD histogram and just pull that up. It's pretty cool stuff, right? So tends to work like the CCI in a little bit shorter term ranges, but it is pretty effective. So, and you use it in shorter ranges, like like here. Okay, so you can see where you get divergences in the in the highs and lows of the histogram. Oftentimes you can find moves as well. So you go here to here, right, and then you go here to here. You can see in those frames that we had a bearish divergence on these between the highs and lows of the histogram, and you get a little bit of a move down off of that. It's a little bit harder to find on the bearish side. It really is, just at least when the market is really bullish, right? So a lot of times you see continuation moves, right? So you can see here from this histogram, right? You can see it's generally moving up. You have higher lows, and if you see higher lows on the red, a lot of times you get movements up, okay? A couple other examples that we can take a look at here. Roku is a good one. Okay, so this gave a nice move recently. Let me clear out some of that mess there. Hold on. Okay, so you can see here a couple different ones. So from here to here, right, we hit all-time highs on Roku. But from here to here, we didn't have as much strength, right, on the histogram. Okay, and then we saw a pretty big move down in Roku. So pretty significant stuff if you look at it on these time frames, right? The distance between here and here, right, was approximately 30 days. Again, very similar to the CCI. Okay, here's another one, here to here. Okay, it's about 10 days, but again, nice bearish divergence, and then you got a little move down, and then a nice gap down, right? But you don't, like I said, you don't tend to see this as much in a bullish market on the bearish MACD. So what you do is you look for higher lows, and these are not divergences, obviously, these are convergences, but you do tend to see this a lot on these for moves up. So higher lows corresponding with higher lows on the red MACD histogram, you tend to get moves up on that one. But very, very interesting to the short side, because you usually stay bullish longer in generally bullish markets, right? So pretty cool stuff, right? Now, one of the things we want to do is see if we can day trade with that too. This makes for interesting swing trades, but you also want to see if we can do that on the shorter term time frames. So let's take a look at the shorter term time frame chart. So we have the 5-minute chart pulled up here, but I do want to show you the 1-minute chart. And this is, again, like the CCI, gets a little bit more complicated because there's a lot going on in the MACD chart. But we'll pull it up here. I just want to show you so you can see it. Okay, so we go here. Here. Okay, we go pull up the MACD histogram. Okay, you can see it's tough, right? I mean, you get really, really tight ranges right here. This is very, very scalpy type stuff. But you can see here intraday Roku. Boom. Oh, let's get the trend line pulled back up here. Roku higher high, lower high on the MACD between these levels, here to here. Okay, and you see a little bit of a move down intraday on Roku. Okay. So it's tough, right? Because it gets really, really busy in these time frames. But it's something you can still use to look for potential reversals. Okay. Let's see if we can see anything else here. Again, very, very difficult because it shifts so much intraday. It almost follows the chart exactly, right? But when you can see multiple kind of humps forming, right, in that time frame, you can catch those type of moves. One thing we can look at is a higher time frame. And see how that plays out, right? Again, you don't see it hanging out as much, in these levels, right, intraday. So it makes it a little bit tricky, but it's a tool, and it's one that can be used. Like you see the 1-minute chart, happens. So if it's something that you like to use, and it's you like to use MACD, it is certainly one that can help potentially intraday. So that's it. That's all for this. On this is actually pretty interesting here. Let me take a look at this one more time. So you do have this. You do have a little bearish divergence right here on the 5-minute chart. So you have here, you have a lower low on this, and then here you have a higher high. But again, very, very scalpy, right? You're talking about a move from like 132.92 to 133. So a 1-point move, but again, more scalpy. But again, intraday, that's what we're doing, is we're looking for quick moves. So good stuff. I hope you guys found that helpful. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can, and we'll try to wrap up as early as we can so we can get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good. All right, so what do we have pulled up here? We got the 5-minute chart. 1 second. Yeah, 5-day, 5-minute. I'm going to remove the MACD. If I can. Studies. There. Boom. And we'll go to the daily. Studies. Edit studies. D. There. Good. Okay. So Shirley sent a few in by email, and I think these are all pretty good ones to look at. So we have Huya. Okay, Huya. Let's throw up a let's put our stuff back up. Let's put our Ichimoku up here. It's great to trade with. Let's put our simple moving averages back up. What do we like? Like the 50 and the 200? Okay, so the 50, let's put that here. Okay, and the 200, let's put that there. Okay, there we go. All right, good. Complicate things a little bit, right? Or simplify, depending how you look at it. All right, so Huya. Good stuff. I mean, it's got some strength, right? We've got a lot of volume that's been coming in recently, right? So pulled down here, right? Here's your downward trend line. You gave a couple minor pivots, and this was a nice close above those levels with increased volume, right? You can see your trend box right here between these levels, right? Nice breakout of the trend box right here, right? For a potential move, pull back because Huya is nasty, and then came back up, got over the 50-day moving average today, and looks like it is working on a fresh trend up. So where does it go from here? We'll see. See if it holds the trend. But if it continues to hold, right, we got the cloud coming up next. So that could be a potential level right there, maybe 22. 200-day moving average is up here at 22.63. Just be careful trading Huya. It gets a little bit crazy. It used to be fun to trade, but the spreads have gotten really nasty, and it's even tough to swing. So just be careful with that as well. Okay, APA. This was a good one today. This was on our 15 orb list this morning. Why? Because, well, it was gapping up, but it was gapping up because they found some oil. Right, so good stuff. They found it off the coast of Suriname, right? So nice gap over this pivot, right? So that would imply a potential gap and go. We do have that major pivot right there, so that was another one that it had to get through. Once it did that at the open, it gave a really, really good move, right? So this could be pretty good, right? With the conflict in the Middle East, oil is going to be kind of a big deal, right? The oil futures are up about $1 right now. They were up like almost 250 a little bit earlier, right? So we'll see if that can get some continuation just based on the increased Middle East conflict, right? So that usually affects oil as well. So let's see if that can continue up. Next levels up are here. Okay, so we have a scene of the breakdown right here. So watch out this 33 level. Okay, possible resistance. Another breakdown level here, 33.83, and of course a couple other breakdown levels up there. So those are kind of the key ones that we're going to be looking at on APA. Okay, XOP. Again, this is the oil and gas ETF. Again, holding trend really well. Watch out for resistance here at the 200-day moving average, right? We're seeing that at about like 24.80. Okay, WDC. Lots of movement in the semiconductors today. Okay, we already have these levels up here. I think we did this in the group today. But yeah, nice close over all these levels, good volume, right? So we'll see if that continues to hold and push. This had a good move today. A lot of the semiconductors did well today. This one, MU, right? Really good stuff. A lot of upgrades this morning in the sector. AMD had some, helped drive the sector up a little bit too with some of their improved processing and things like that. So definitely one to keep an eye on. And then TCOM. This was a good one as well. Okay, really like that inside day and how it held these levels right here, right? And then pushed above the 200-day moving average today. Got a lot of strength today. Careful with this one. Is an ADR, right? So it does gap around a lot, but it got some strength today. So just be careful with that because these ADRs like to gap. So, but again, doing pretty well here. I've seen some volume come in and looking pretty strong overall. Good stuff. Delta Trader, what's going on? Hope you had a great day today, Baba. Let's take a look. Oh, goodness gracious. S&P futures only down 11 points. Okay, so Baba pretty good here. After hours, it got as low as 213. So we'll see if they gap it in the morning. So it basically is here after hours. So it gave a doji day. So it kind of gave you an indication that, hey, maybe you want to get a red doji too. So it kind of gave an indication that, hey, maybe you want to get out here. But if it holds these levels, right, if it holds that 213 level, it might tag that, this potential support area right here, this 211, then, possibly get a bounce. So that could be an interesting one as well. SQ. Okay, SQ with a doji at the 50-day moving average. Okay, that had a big move today too, and an upgrade this morning. Good volume came in today. So we'll see what it does. We'll see if it holds as a potential doji sandwich, right? Not quite connected with the prior green bar. Rejected by the cloud top too, so we have to keep that in mind. Down a little bit after hours, of course, but pretty interesting stuff, right? 15 orb for a quick breakout this morning. That was about it. Closed within the range. Doji. Good stuff. Sarah, what's going on? Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Paul, what's up? I know, yeah, S&P futures gonna be green. I mean, not necessarily, but definitely with a big rebound. Let's take another look at them. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. Okay. Yeah, just broke out of the trend box. So trend is up into right now into the morning. We'll see if we can get green by the morning. Okay. Holding trend. Again, no U.S. casualties, so that helped with the market reversal. Just see a tweet out too from the president. All is well. Missiles launched from Iran at 2 military bases looking at Iraq. Assessment damages to casualties. Hold on one second. Let me read this out right here. Casualties damages taking place now. So far, so good. We have the most powerful and well-equipped military anywhere in the world by far. I'll be making a statement tomorrow morning. So that could be pretty interesting. So we'll see what time that is. It'll probably be at about 9:30. 9:30, 10 o'clock-ish. And maybe some China trade news coming out tomorrow to get this thing going again. So we'll see. MTN, what's going on? Yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure. Hope you're doing great. Nate, hello, what's going on? Good to see you. Nudie Poo, Neo. We haven't looked at this one in a couple days after it had its big move. All right, so yeah, huge move the other day, right? Remember this big move up here, macro trend line. Found resistance there. Imagine that. Whew. Remember when this thing went public? Okay, so way back, yeah. Okay, so 13.8 hits this level, it came right off of that one the other day, right? So off of that macro trend line, inside day down, then it's just been kind of crazy, right? So it's been reclaiming a lot of ranges, right? It had a pretty decent gap up the other day, and then it faded completely. Came back down again. Now you have the 200-day moving average right here at about 309. Another key level here at $3. Another prior resistance level that might become support at 277. And then you have your open gap right here at 255. So definitely interesting. It's been interesting. We've looked at it a couple times intraday of trade, but it seems to only be fun to trade when there's big news on it. CRWD. All right, yeah. Prior double inside day right here. Levels might want to get tested. I didn't quite get there today and put an upper shadow, so it's finding some resistance in this area here. So see how it holds. Right, next level down is here at 52. Right, held the cloud today, so hopefully it could stay in there. Right, and ideally it'll tag these double inside day levels, close above it, and get out of the cloud. Next resistance level is up here at 60. So definitely something to keep an eye on there. Matthew, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. David, what's happening? USO. So yeah, so let's take a look, see if it did any action after hours here. So yeah, so big spike after hours, a little bit of a pullback here, into the wee hours of the night. But generally holding key levels, right? So today, big lower shadow off of the this prior resistance level. So it's it looks like it's getting constructive here after this gap up. So I imagine even if the futures, oh my goodness, the futures are down only 5 points right now. It's so funny. Okay, so it's too funny. Even if the futures are down, this still should affect oil a little bit. So we should see some strength in oil going into tomorrow, more than likely. And gold has pulled back a little bit too. It was up as high as 1,600. Now it's down to 1,588 again. Cool. MTN Lulu. Yeah, let's take a look. Lulu. Okay, so Lulu's been pretty interesting, right? So fresh high today, right? All-time high. We saw a few all-time highs today. So fresh all-time high there. So that shifts our trend line over, removes this trend box. Okay, and it's found a little selling pressure in these areas naturally, but kind of basically needs to get over today's high and kind of continue its way up, almost looking like a little ascending triangle right here. So see if we can continue to show strength. But Lulu has been pretty impressive. And then yeah, CL2, right? Same thing. So oil futures, right? Nice pop up here. Still looks green. Up 80 cents there. I don't imagine it'll. I imagine it'll still hold up pretty well, right? Just increased tension. So again, decent trend line up here still. Continuing to hold. So definitely we'll keep an eye on it. Thomas, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Ernesto, what's happening? Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. Manesh, Disney. Let's take a look. Yeah, so Disney's been pretty interesting, right? Huge candle, right? A couple days ago. Very, very bullish. Right? Closed over some key levels, right? Nice stuff. Left a gap below. Inside day, pushed down, held the cloud, filled the gap, came back up, still a little meh, right? So now, I mean, really the key level at this point here, if we take this away, right? We got to get over this. Once we get over that, closing gap level right there is the next target. Netflix. Yeah, so Netflix has been pretty interesting, right? We had a big theme that we were talking about, all these cups that we're looking at the other day, right? We have Amazon, Facebook, things like that. So so with this, right? I was working on the cup right here. Got back up to it with a huge candle yesterday, right? And today, a little bit of a gap up this morning, and then rejected those levels right there. The bears pushed it back down. So we'll see if we can consolidate up here. It might give us a little bit of a bull flag. Right, if we can get a little bull flag, right, that might give us the energy we need to break out of these levels and start filling that gap. And work. Let's take a look at worky work. So worky work has had a big move down since its IPO, right, or its public offering, however you want to talk about it. Right, so this key level here is very important, right? So 2 strong days in a row, right? Big candle right here to say, I want higher. Let's get out of the cloud. And today, nice hammer. Right? So not increased volume, but still generally increasing volume, right? So definitely want to keep an eye on. Right? This is on our radar today, so let's see if we can continue to get strength. In fact, let me give me 1 second. Let me add that to the game plan for Tamara. I was on it yesterday, but we'll continue to keep an eye on it. Okay, Wednesday. Gosh, Tesla was strong today too, huh? Whew. Great charts. Okay, good. Thomas, Beyond. Oh, yeah, great. Thank you for bringing this one up. So Beyond had a huge day today. On no news, right? It was actually on news that their competitor was making pork-based products, or fake pork products. So, I mean, I guess it implies that Beyond might make it too or something like that. But anyway, it was mostly just an epic short squeeze today, right? Big consolidation, move right down here. Very, very possible, we talk about the Wyckoff method, that this whole period, right, of increased volume and this choppiness has been an accumulation period. And today was one of the first attempts to break out of that level. Real key level right here to get above is 84.90. We couldn't quite get there today. So what I want to see is it get strong and get into the cloud, right? And then, of course, it's got to get over this level right here. And once it does, then we can start seeing this gap fill. We can start working our way out of the cloud, and this thing could really start going. But it's tough to say if it's going to remain, just sort of like a fad stock. So, but yeah, nice move today for sure. Heather, good evening. Thank you for tuning in. LMT, that's a good one. Oh, we got some defense sector ones. So LMT, inside day. I imagine it'll be pretty strong tomorrow. So any increase, conflicts. These are probably the best ones to be in, right? Is just because increased conflict and more war machine, right? So so that could work its way up over this 418 level. Oh my goodness, it's up to 435. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I mean we could see more gap and go on these things. So pretty impressive stuff. Katos. This has been an inexpensive, more inexpensive one to look at, right? $20 for a defense sector stock. Big move up, a couple days ago, and then boom, right over those levels for a huge move, right, on a gap up, and then they faded that gap. So we're looking at a little bit of a spinning top today. After hours, big spike, 22.14. So that could put it potentially up here, and we could see a little gap and go on this thing. I think that should go on the radar for tomorrow. Okay, put that on the radar. Okay, I like it. And BP. Yeah, very nice. So this is ADR, okay? So just be careful with these, right? I know BP's cool. We got a lot of gas stations around, but you still have to be careful with all these these crazy gappers, right? These ADR gappers. But so far after hour, really bullish. So let's see if that gets any follow through on that one tomorrow. But yeah, looking pretty good. My pleasure. Thank you. I know, MTN. Yeah, futures acting like a trade deal delayed now. Only down 13. Only down 8 points right now. It was down only 5 a second ago, not too long ago. We go back to S&P. Let's take another look. Where are we? Sorry, guys. There. Look at that. almost into yesterday's range. It's great, or earlier today's range. So we're getting strong. Let's see if they continue to buy the dip on this one. Okay, good. Ryle fam, what's going on? FIS, Fidelity National. Okay, a little bit of a rough day today. Okay, inside day though, right? This thing does look like it's working on an ascending triangle. Okay, so we'll continue to monitor that. Inside day up could give it a pop. It's got to get over this high right here, this 140.84, to get a little more strength. Nice one though. Good. Seneca, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. Amazon, we don't know yet. We don't know. We could be green tomorrow. All right, it's at 1863 right now. Okay, so I know it's down 40 points, but this thing could be rallying into tomorrow, right? Just right now, aftermarket is closed, right? So we'll see where we are in the morning, right? This thing could be gapping up tomorrow potentially. So this is what it is. But nice, decent close today. Yesterday was a good, good strong close over these levels, right? We talk about this cup that's been happening in a lot of our FANG stocks, right? So nice close today. Filled a closing gap today, and we got a couple levels up here for like seeing the breakdown, stuff like that. So we'll see if we can get up there. Good, yeah, Manesh, yep, just read the tweet out. Ernesto, what is the plan for tomorrow when we have everything red? Okay, it just all depends, right? So, I mean, right now they're not that red, right? But if everything's red tomorrow, you look and just see how you evaluate. One thing we like to do is, we use the 15 orb at the open, right? So we like to see where we open. We use that as a gauge, right? Because we let the bulls and the bears fight it out in the first 15 minutes, right? And then we see what happens, right? If we break down below the 15 orb, then we look to, possibly trim positions, right? But if we break over it, right, then we look to trim and trail, right? And then, just ride it up. So we'll see exactly, anything can happen overnight. I know we look at futures, and we look at all the news all night and all that stuff, and keeps us up and everything like that. But sometimes you just have to just start fresh in the morning and to see where we're at. Like I said, guys, we could be green tomorrow. So, I mean, right now, it's no reason it wouldn't be. So at this rally. So good stuff. Wendy, good morning. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Manoj, what's up? NOC. Let's take a look. NOC. Northrop. Okay, again, these big, defense sector stocks, pretty good. If we can get over that 383, 393, potential gap and go on Northrop Grumman. Okay, so definitely worth keeping an eye on. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. I like it. Okay, I'm going to put that on the radar as well for tomorrow. Looks good. Nice one. And then ABMD. Okay, this one. Let's take a look here. Gosh, could you imagine this thing was all the way up at like 400 not too long ago? Okay, so here. Okay, so macro trend line. Corresponding with a lot of different stuff. You got the 50-day moving average, you got the cloud, you got macro trend line right there. So big candle today. Okay, minor trend line breakout right here. Or big candle yesterday, sorry. Little continuation move. Could be a potential doji sandwich to work its way up there. So definitely something to keep an eye on. I like it. Kathy, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Facebook. Let's take a look at Facebook. Okay, so a lot of these, right, these big cup and handle type patterns, right? And even here, big cup right there. So this is a good one. This is one that we had, for a nice little move yesterday. So nice close up, good volume. Right, next level here was basically this. There, right, open gap. Okay, and then next you have a couple key levels up there. Okay, so basically filled the open gap today. At least got really, really close to it. And then, see what it can do. Actually, it looks like it's working on potential doji sandwich. Which means we could get a measured move up. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye, keep it on the bullish radar for tomorrow. And what else? If we don't gap down huge, right? So, but could get some strength if it opens at the same levels. Thomas, since no one's mentioning Boeing, we don't mention Boeing here. No, just kidding. So pretty interesting stuff, right? So we had an open gap right here filled today. So Boeing kind of did its job, right? Filled this old opening gap, but it's holding pretty well, right? Got kind of like a W pattern down here. Again, now today's upper shadow makes things a little bit suspect, right? Because they pushed it back down after a move up today. So this one could move. I mean, it is kind of sort of aerospace defense sector, but it's also Boeing, right? So they have all the 737 issues and all that stuff. So it's kind of pretty much down with the S&P. But we'll see if we get strength. And Dow, right? It's a big Dow stock too. In fact, the most expensive one on the Dow. So, but yeah, so we'll see if that continues to hold. It's going to take, it still has a lot of work to do. It really does, both fundamentally and technically. Good stuff. Manesh, yeah, my pleasure. Kathy, yeah, my pleasure. Wendy, is PayPal a short? Do 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 do. It was up there. It's just PayPal's just been so tough, right? It really has been. We get a lot of bullish, comments on it and calls. But I mean, look at how messy this chart is. Look at the shadows on it, right? Whenever you see a chart like this, like, stay away. Upper shadow, lower shadow, upper shadow, upper shadow, upper shadow. No, nothing. Then you get a big strong candle right down. Decent candle down, right? So yeah, it could be. It could give a little bit of a move down, right? Reject a lot of these key levels. Just is not given any breakout signals ever. Right, so it's slowly kind of grinding its way up. It kind of looks like a megaphone type formation here, a little bit. So if it did, it may actually come back and test these levels, right? So you do kind of have a little bit of support right here. So definitely one to keep an eye on, and it does move fast intraday. So if you can catch a short intraday, it could be a good one. Good stuff, Thomas. Yeah, my pleasure. Good, great chart request tonight. Definitely have been enjoying going over these divergence techniques. So tomorrow we'll have another one for everybody. Really want to thank everybody for tuning in. It's always great to have all the support from everybody, and just really appreciate it. So if you're new here, definitely click like if you can on YouTube, and also subscribe to us on YouTube. We do this every market night. We go over new technical ideas and we go over chart requests, and we really appreciate it, and glad to have you. And if you get a chance, check out the links in the description. And I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Don't look at futures tonight, right? I'll probably tweet some out later. But huge recovery. So, all right, guys. I hope everybody has a wonderful night. And remember your risk first, and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you soon.